balance training right there. God damn it. YouTube, what is up? It is a Monday and we are back in action. Today is gonna be pretty simple. We're gonna jump, we're gonna clean, we're gonna box squat because we gotta beat Clifton's 500-pound record that he sent to me, and we're gonna absolutely destroy it. So we're gonna talk shit on the front end and probably get bodied on the back end. But we're sticking with regular block cleans today. We'll go 2 weeks in a row on those. They felt really, really nice last week and I just felt a little off on that finish. So I just really wanna get after those this week, hopefully get something good, and then we'll go rip some squats. It should be a pretty simple, fun day, and we'll yap in between. Just finished up at a Two Friends concert this past weekend with my brother, cousin, and a couple other friends, and it was just a phenomenal vibe. So we're high frequency today. Got a lot of good energy. Let's throw some of that in the bar. Let's hit a PR. Let's go. All right, just hitting some block pulls here today. On these warm-ups, I want to overemphasize that jump and leg drive. Felt like that was kind of lacking a little bit last week. I want to play with it if I start with that in the lighter weights, if it transitions a little bit better to heavy weights. Just a little mini experiment. So we're going to try it out. We're going to see how it works. Let's go. Gotta move that mic before I break it. Let's go. Had a hit tracks tournament this past weekend, just like we typically do, and the swing, dialing in. It is absolutely dialing in. We were 29 for 32. There's only one non-barreled swing, which was pretty sexy to feel. Tried to cut a ball, rolled it over. That was an out, and then twice it was snapped off on 100-mile-an-hour liners. And if those are my outs at a tournament, I could absolutely live with that. But swing's been feeling dialed. I've been feeling strong. Keep it simple, stupid. Gonna keep on the path. Keep eating right, keep training right, keep showing up. Good things happen. Let's get after it. Here we go. Let's go. I don't like the feel of these like meathead cleans and just kind of ripping that bar up. And honestly, it's just kind of turning into a power clean for me, which is like, I struggle with that cue of like, how do I get a power clean? Because whenever it gets heavy, I just kind of drop underneath it. And if I think like stantology, it just turns into a shitty pull. So if I think like jump with that bar, it's actually turning into a nice power clean. So I like that. But the feel of that meathead clean is something that I kind of like in the program, regardless of if it looks good or not. But it's like kind of a good KPI for me. It's like, regardless of technique, regardless of what it looks like, can you just grab a bar and fucking yank it up and get in underneath it? And I just absolutely love the feel of that. And I think a lot of coaches and just clientele in general should feel the exercises more rather than looking at what the exercises look like and being way over analytical about the perfect look and the perfect technique of the exercise. I think there's a time and place for it all. I'm not saying there's not a time and place for that technical piece. I'm not saying there's not a time and place for how the clean looks, how the snatch looks. But I also do believe there's a time for just the meathead piece of it. I do believe it's a nice, awesome like KPI of like, how does that bar feel today when there is no technical thought process going in your head? You're just literally yanking in and getting underneath it. So liking that feel. We're gonna keep doing it until we can't do it. Let's go. Oof. Ooh. Oh, that was less Yankee. A little too technical there. There we go. Let's go. All right. Been a little horizontal jump problem today. We seated hurdle hops here for distance. Yeeting out of here. Let's go. Oh, that was sick. Let's go. Ooh, let's go. Last one. Ooh, let's go. The last jump variation today, third set here. So we started with the jump series with a crescendo pogos, continue to build those up. Then we did band assisted single leg pogos, just continue to build those up. And then we got some springiness here. We're going lateral hurdle hops. 3 each side, trying to stay as bouncy off the ground as we can. So let's rip. Boom. Let's go. Let's get back to cleans. All right, probably reaching our near of the meathead cleans and being able to still get it up without getting underneath the bar, but gonna keep ripping until we can't. Let's go. Those felt good. Let's go. All right, we're going with the full Will Rattel Walmart version. Harps off, power cleans here. We're just gonna keep ripping 1 rep maxes until we can't get it. Feeling really good right now. I like this feel. Just gotta get that front rack, man. My front rack is fucking ass and it feels bad. I'm not getting those elbows up high enough. Triceps feel pretty fucking tight. We gotta build up that mobility piece. So let's get after it. Let's go. Woo! All right, we're gonna try straps for 1 rep. See if when we flip it around, if it feels better. Last time I tried cleaning with straps, my front rack was so bad, it just fucked me up. But I switched the straps around and it felt amazing on the snatches, so I'm hoping for the same thing here. Let's try it, let's go. Let's go. Straps on the pole felt like it locked me in a lot better on the bar, but I really have to overemphasize that front rack position with the straps. Otherwise, I get really locked underneath. So I'm going to try them again with this, see if I can fucking throw my elbows underneath and keep ripping. Let's go. Woo! Come on. Oh, that was not a power clean, but it felt good. Let's go. The cue of trying to power, and it's not even my cue of trying to power. My cue is just trying to catch it as high as possible and like almost jump underneath it. Is actually been feeling really, really nice. Even though that last one was the first non-power, I'm gonna still try and catch it as high as possible. Drive those feet up as high as possible. As we add weight, it's probably gonna make me continue to sink, but we'll see if we hit a little PR here off of that. That'd be kind of a cool little cue. Typically, I'm focused on getting underneath the bar just because that's my skill set. I can get underneath the bar and then squat it back up. Right now, kind of focus on the opposite thing, and the thing that I suck at, which is catching it at high, is actually allowing me to use my skill set better because I'm catching it even higher, and then I'm able to just drive it up. And rather than catching all the way down here and then driving it up, I'm like catching it like right here, which has been nice. So hopefully keep that ripping. Let's go. Whoa! Electric. All right, this is what we tried to get last week, and Quinn cleared up, so this would be fucking kind of nasty if we powered this up with our new cue that we got going with our meathead clean. So let's get after this. Let's go. Ah! Whoa! Turning into a pretty fucking sickening clean day. So if we get this up, I'm gonna be on cloud 9. Let's get after it. Let's go. Ah! Fuck. That's all she wrote for today. That actually felt pretty good. But I almost passed the fuck out there. Woo! Man, that felt good underneath that bar. I had to get some leg drive underneath, build up that squat a little bit more. Damn. Woo! Come on, we got that. We're gonna get after this bitch. Double upper decky. I've never fucking attempted once and then just fucking ended it. That's a pussy shit. Let's get after this. Let's try it again. If we fucking die, we die. Let's go. Come on. Ah! Fuck. All right, we got that next week. Let's go. Give myself some fucking hernia. Holy shit. Felt good today. Let's get to some squats. Let's go. Damn. All right, we got kickstand box squats here. I've never actually done these, but Clifton was talking shit and said race to 500. So we got 2 here. Foot behind, touching the butt to the box, coming back up. I think this box is pretty high, but it's the same setup Clifty had. And although he's pretty soft, he knows the thing about strength conditioning. So we're just gonna listen to him and basically be the Charizard version of him. And for the Walmart version of Will, we're gonna be the Charizard version of Cliff. Let's go. Oof. 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 Those actually feel really good, not gonna lie. So struggling with that front catch and squat back up. So my ideal squat variation that I probably need to work on a lot more is pin front racks and pin back squats, right? Just from the pins, being able to dead stop that start, just like you do in a catch. If you catch it, you gotta reverse that weight, drive back up. If I build that accessory up, that's gonna help the cleans a ton. And I actually just got the question, some guy just came in here, I climb with him every now and then, he works here at the coffee shop. And he's asking me about his mobility and his flexibility routines, and it's like, dude, it just feels like there's 400 stretches, and every time I feel like I have to go in and stretch for 4 hours to hit everything, and he's like, it's stressing him out. And that can kind of be like a lot of things in strength conditioning, where if you just try to approach everything at one time, your sessions turn into 4 hours, or they feel like they turn into 4 hours, it feels like you need to hit fucking everything in every single session. It feels like there's not enough time in the day to work on everything that you need to work on. And this is how I kind of dumb it down and wrap it all up, is just let the thing that you're doing dictate what your accessories and what you need to work on in the weight room and how you need to get specific, right? Let the sport dictate where you need to be sport specific. So for climbing, when we're talking about mobility, one of the things that he struggles with is like that high step up position, right? So in the weight room, he doesn't need to do a ton of like splits. And it's not to say the splits are bad. It's not to say he needs to doesn't need to work on the groin flexibility at all. But the thing he's really noticing on the wall right now is that high step up position. So I'm telling him, when you're working in the weight room, when you're working on your secondary type movements, because your main sport is climbing, you should find a bunch of variations that can train that, right? So maybe it's a fucking super high step up. Maybe it's a lot of hip flexor stretching where you're getting back in that position so you can hike it up really, really high. But I think simplifying what your sport specific work needs to be done in here by letting the sport actually dictate it rather than just doing everything sport specific really helps the programming aspect of it. And then you can just go in and work on the things that you suck at. And then you go back to your sport and see where you're struggling again. So if he masters that high step up position and then he gets to the wall and he's figuring out he can't get his leg wide again, then we can go in the weight room and work on some lateral lunges or some groin mobility, right? Start where you suck, build up where you suck, go back to the sport and let that dictate the next thing. And again, when it comes to ollies right now, the thing that I'm struggling with is catching that position and then reversing it back up. So my secondary movement for squats or for the ollie lift should be a pin squat, right? Like, so it's just a really simple way to break things down and not make it feel like there's 3,000 things to do in the weight room. So you don't have to get all stressed out in the weight room, right? They just simplify it a little bit, really crush the things that you suck at, touch on everything else, stay general with everything else, and go back to your sport, see where you suck again, build that up in the weight room and continually progress that. And as you do that, you'll find your general preparedness for everything kind of grows, rather than getting stressed out, trying to do everything at once, and then inevitably you fall off because it is too stressful. There is too much going on and not really focused enough in your program. I think it's much better to be extreme in the programming aspect when it comes to sport specific things like that, where you struggle, so you can see the results really quickly in your sport and the thing that you suck at, which will give you a dopamine hit, the show back up to the weight room again, to the training again. It doesn't get too stressful. Then you come and extend your extremes again in some other aspect, right? And it keeps you from getting burnt out in one specific aspect as well, right? So if speed is your limiting factor in sport, work on a ton of high max velocity stuff until it's not your limiting factor again. Go back to your sport, see what your limiting factor is after that, go build that aspect up again, right? And it's not always as clean cut as that, but it's a much cleaner way, and it's a much better way to systemize your training so you don't get super stressed out over everything that's going on in the weight room, right? So just my 2 cents there with how do you get everything done in the weight room? You don't. You extend your extremes from being dog shit at something to being solid at something. Go back to your sport, find out where you're dog shit again relatively to where you're at. Then go build that aspect up again. Continue that process for years on end. Guarantee you're a completely different athlete by the end of it. All right, so let's go and let's get after this. Let's go. I might rack in between the 2 sets just because walking around this box is super fucking awkward, and I don't want to fucking KO myself with the turf that's on the ground here. So rip 2, rack it, rip 2 the other side. Let's go. All right, let's rip. Let's go. All right, let's get after this bitch. Let's go. Let's go. One more set there. All right, bars bending, backs breaking. Let's fucking go. Let's get this. Here we go. Balance training right there. God damn it. All right, I had to throw the ugly iron plates on to save some space on the bar to get this rep and not hit that super specific balance training we hit on that last rep. So let's get after it. Let's go. Oh, can't miss it with this fucking song playing. I'm a boss, baby. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Woo! Let's fucking go. I'll say goodbye in a second. Once I don't pass out, let's get after it. All right, YouTube, that is the day. The tarp is back on. We got after it. Feeling fucking good. We're going to go consume a pound of ground beef. That's pretty much been the diet the last 3 weeks. Just a big-ass bowl of ground beef. I'll throw some hot sauce in there. I'll throw some guac in there. Maybe a little honey, and then we'll just consume the shit out of that. We've been feeling great. We've been getting peeled. And we're going to keep ripping. I posted that we have a Building Better Movers Olympic lifting program on the Insider, and I got the comment in the DM, and I think the guy actually is pretty cool. He's had a couple cool DMs, but he's said something like, I can't believe you have an Olympic lifting program with how your lifts look. And comments like that will absolutely fucking fuel me to get a 4-plate clean and a 3-plate snatch. So if you're on the edge of buying a Building Better Movers Olympic lifting program, buy low, because we're only going to fucking climb from here. And we're going to shut all of those haters up. Stupid ass comments like that drive me just up a wall. It's like that's the energy we're spreading. That's what's going on in your head right there. Just silly energy to me. I can't believe I've never actually thought of sending a DM like that to somebody that is absolutely grinding. like that. Just silly, just bad energy on that person's part. But we're going to take that energy, we're going to consume it, and we're going to use it for something good. We're going to keep PRing like a fucking meathead and get after it. One of the things I talked to an athlete about an hour before the session when I was coaching, we were doing these jumps over a hurdle, and I was having them use a plate to jump off. So instead of just a normal run up and hurdle hop over the hurdle for max height, it was a 45-pound plate, so you had to jump on the plate and then jump over the hurdle. And he was really struggling with the takeoff and the timing of it to get over the hurdle. He was jumping actually less over the hurdle, over the plate with the assisted height than he was just normal, and everybody else was PRing. As you kind of should, because it gives you like a 45-pound plate, like 6 inches increase. You're jumping off something higher, right? So you should be able to jump higher. And that was kind of the goal of that exercise, to give you something to jump off of and land from a little bit higher heights. And that was kind of the thought process going in. But he looked at me and he's like, I can jump higher without the plate. Can I just take away the plate and do it? And I had to sit him down and be like, no, dude. Like the whole point of training is to do the things you suck at and get better at the things. And I think that's one of the powers of the variability. Psychological data point of proving to yourself, can your body solve the problem at hand when it needs to in the given amount of time that you're given? I think that's every sport, right? Like you're never going to have the same problem in sport over and over again. And this kid is a baseball athlete, and I told him it's like telling a pitcher, hey, I can only hit a fastball. Can you stop pitching the curveball because I don't hit the curveball as well? And I think a lot of our training kind of revolves around the things that we're good at, kind of avoiding the things we suck at, and we build up our biases based off the things that give us dopamine hits, and we avoid all of the things we're shit at, and then we get to sport, and it's a totally different game, right? And I really do believe training can be a beautiful environment in which you can prove to yourself, I can hit that curveball because I can do fucking anything. I can jump over that hurdle and PR the first time I try that, right? Like I can try a different clean variation. I can try those power clean variations and turn it into something good. I can figure it out. Having a body and mind that is capable of figuring out movement problems on the fly is truly my definition of what a good athlete is. And I think we can really challenge that and build that up in the weight room and not avoid that, right? So I think that is the power of variability, the psychological power and benefits of variability in your training is every time you approach a new movement problem, you get a chance to prove to yourself that you're capable of doing that. And you're capable of figuring things out on the fly, just like you would need to in a sport, just like you would need to if you're pitching a pitcher that throws something that's just a little bit different. Or in football, you're pass rushing an offensive lineman that's just a little bit harder. Or in the lifting aspect, you're on a platform that doesn't feel like your platform at home, or a bar that doesn't feel like your bar at your gym, right? Like, are you capable of adapting and performing on spot? And I think providing those tests every single day for our athletes so they have that just innate level of confidence because they have thousands of data points proving to themselves that they're capable of doing those things is unbelievably powerful, and it's something we should not avoid. So if you're struggling in something in the gym, I think you should drink that Kool-Aid just a little bit longer until you don't struggle with it and you prove to yourself that you don't suck at those things, right? So come on an adaptable athlete, come on an athlete that's capable, come on an athlete that is able to solve things on the fly and watch yourself change who you are on the field. So I appreciate you guys watching. Let's get after it tomorrow. Keep chopping wood.